Okay, thank you so much. Officially, so delighted to welcome you all to this second installment of our speaker series in partnership with Veronica Beard. The fabulous team here uh, is so generous in hosting us. Kitty, Portia, Caitlin, thank you so much. And of course, the folks at the Veronica Beard headquarters, Lila, Allison, and the rest. We're really grateful for their support of our mission and for them making it possible for us to gather leaders of all kinds across business, civil society, government, technology, and more for these conversations around online safety. At Perth.org, we envision a world in which safety to thrive is reality for all of us. That's the vision that drives our work and our team every day. And for the purposes of today's conversation, we have three main themes. One, online safety in the age of AI, especially AI being an amplifier both of harm and of good. Number two, the ways that online violence disproportionately affects women and girls. And then three, the ways that we can work together across sectors to be able to create the guardrails and solutions that we collectively want to see come about. I also want to set the tone for the event. This isn't meant to be a political polished conversation. The idea is to have a candid chat about what it means and what it looks like to be a person in the public eye in the digital age. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's all a lot, especially as a woman. But there is also enormous opportunity and responsibility that comes with visibility, especially when you're trying to do good with it. So, these are issues that we all think about quite often. I know that there are a lot of folks in the room who work on these issues, and they're all too real. And I know firsthand what it's like to live through online violence. In 2022, when the Women Life Freedom Movement started in Iran, I became the target of vicious harassment and threats. And the thing that I remember most from that experience is how quickly I felt robbed of my sense of security and how paralyzing that was. Even though the threats were virtual, they were still deeply violating and deeply violent. And it feels like an onslaught, and you don't know where to turn to, who to call, what to do. It's a lot. There's a lot that you don't necessarily know and aren't prepared for. But there are resources, there are recourses. And, at Perth, that's our driving motivation. That experience led to the creation and the existence of Perth.org. And in this work, I am so fortunate to have met so many incredible leaders and women who are similarly focused on making sure that everyone has safety to thrive. And we are so fortunate that one such leader and woman is here to join us. Mrs. Lavinia Valbonesi Noboa was 25 years old when she became the First Lady of Ecuador when her husband was elected president in November of 2023. She is one of the youngest, or she and her husband are one of the youngest presidential families in the world and the youngest in Ecuador's history. She is a nutritionist and fitness specialist by training. And in keeping with her entrepreneurial spirit, she is also a partner in a healthy food restaurant called Green Deli in Ecuador. She has political experience that extends beyond her first ladyship. She worked on the successful re-election of Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott before becoming First Lady. And she speaks Spanish, Italian, English, some French, and some Mandarin. And then in 2024, she founded Fundación Ana, the Anna Foundation, which works to protect women and girls and the well-being of Ecuadorians everywhere. So thank you so much for being here. We're so glad that you could join us today.
Well, thank you for this opportunity, for this space. I want to start telling you a little bit of me. As you say, I'm the youngest First Lady actually around the world as well, not only my country, for the second time, because my husband was re-elected when I was 25. Now I'm almost 28, and I'm keeping winning this award, and we can say. And I'm not also the youngest first lady. I'm also the first lady influencer because I used to work on social media. I used to use Instagram, TikTok as a platform to create content and to get my fitness clients in a certain way because I was a fitness nutritionist. So Instagram was my platform for work. When I met my husband, I tell him all the time, sorry if my English isn't the best. I have my notes
No,
here,
you're
but I
great.
hope
You're doing
I'm
great.
able to translate from Spanish to English. I tell him all the time that you lied to me because when I met you, I never imagined you will become president or you want to. You tell me later when you make me fall in love. But it has been an adventure. Before I become a nutritionist, I was like, maybe we can say prepared by my dad. Uh, Studying languages, I studied Mandarin, I studied French, I learned Italian for my side of my dad's family, Spanish, English, because I want to study political science. I want to be a diplomat, a consul, and a ambassador in other countries. I was able when I graduated very young at 16 years from high school to go to work together with this politic in Australia and everything. But when I was there, I felt like I wasn't sure that I will be. Well, I had a 16-year-old when all these questions come to my head, and I was like, I don't feel I will become the best in the thing I do. I don't have this like confidence, and I was very worried. But I'm like a very passionate person. I need to work on something that I felt that I trust, and the most important thing that I believe. When my husband started his first campaign as a senator, I wasn't very involved in this political life. But when he became president, I was his first campaign. I started involving more, and I felt very passionate of it because when you make campaign in a country like mine that have so much needs, um, you you see the people see you as a way of hope, like a opportunity, even if they don't know you, where you're from or what you will do. They want you to listen to them and see in any way if you can help them. I started learning when my husband was more and more close to win. I was very worried because I was an influencer, Instagram, working on Instagram. This very important role, I will assume, even if in my country there's no official role of a first lady, you have a responsibility, a very big responsibility. And I started learning about uh, my country, the needs, and all the other first lady that were before me. I learned what they have done, in what they have worked on, and I was very surprised. Not only um, learning about the first lady in my country, but learning about the first ladies around the world. That I haven't been any first lady that has focused on women's victims of violence. Not because not because it's a common factor, because it is. And in my country, our numbers are very high. 7 out of 10 women are victims of violence, and sorry, the numbers are very similar. In all the countries around mine. And as I told you before, I'm very passionate. And when I was able to be with my husband in this position of service, I want to work on something that makes me want to wake up every day. I'm a mom of two. I have one son of 2 years. I was pregnant when my husband won his first election, and I have my first son that has 4 years old. So I felt that I want to, of course, I want to work on something, but I want to work on something that I believe and that I I really had that passion, and that's why I create a foundation for women victims of violence. When we start this foundation, it's very difficult to work with this kind of themes because in my country we're still a very conservative country. It's very hard to have a women victim of violence talk about it, and it's something that happens in all social classes. So we were thinking how we can help these women, how we can cut the circle of violence. So working and making the research, we saw that one common factor that keep them, these women with this abuser, is that they don't are economically independent. Uh, Even if they are able or have that strength to go out of these circles, if they doesn't have this economic dependence, they come back to this life. So that's how we create the Anna Foundation. We have 2 years. Uh, we celebrate our first 2 years, 8th of March. I choose 8th of March because I think 8th of March is a reminder there are still women victims of violence. Um, Violence uh, doesn't have enough opportunities, and a reminder that not all women are able to have the dignity life that they deserve. I think in this new era, when we talk about, sorry, I'm translating Spanish to English, so reivindication, the real reivindication occur when we pass from words to actions. As I saw, the women go back to this abuser because they doesn't have this economic independence. So we want to give them the skills to help them to uh, start generating money. We have made amazing alliances in our foundation. We have just 2 years. We're a completely private foundation because we haven't had any help from the government, because that's what I want for this foundation to success and survive for more years than any time that any campaign or political position my husband could have. We have been able to reach 500,000 women that are able to educate themselves, but are able also to work, transforming not only their lives but their family life as our country as well. Because if we give them this economic independence, we help also the economy of our country, and is something that helps the community, their families, and the country as well. So that's a little bit of the foundation and the work we have been doing. It has been very tough because we started this foundation with this fight that was women victim of violence, but maybe because of the position I have, because I'm an influencer, I have this platform that is help you all the time to get more connected to the people. To me comes all kind of needs, all kind of needs, and we are not like any other foundation that says, okay, I will help patients that have cancer, and if I help only patients with cancer, I'm fine. I'm not able to close the door to anyone. People that come to ask for help, people that we help, and the best way to help them is giving these opportunities. We doesn't only help them to have this capacitation on common areas like cooking, beauty, entrepreneur, social media, like these usual areas that we are usual to see women, but we are like breaking stereotypes because we are empowerment women on areas that are more common to see men's working, like construction. The last year, I have women electricists that works on plumberia, soldiers that to make the homes. And the last year, we made the first car made by women that were able to capacitate on mechanics. They built a car and was the first one of lots more that they have been able to create things of the alliances we have done with the private sector. The private sector has been the most important ally to us because we don't only capacitate them. Thanks, because of these alliances, we're able to employ them, to give them the best gift you can give to a people, that is job.
That is all amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that. I want to pick up on a thread that you mentioned, that you came into the first ladyship, already as a social media native, you had already seen what it was like out there before becoming First Lady. And today, in 2023, AI was not as advanced as it is today. How have you seen things shift online? Have you seen shifts?
Gracias.
And, what do you think AI is doing in terms of online safety or experience?
Well, because I was like in the social media, I, I, I know how it's to get this kind of attacks all the time because people is all the time judging about what you do and everything. But right now that AI exists, and I live it by myself in the last campaign a few months ago before my husband got elected, was one time that with the AI, the opposition create a voice note telling things I didn't say, but they created with my voice and everything. It looked so real. They share it like everywhere. I think right now the information goes very fast. What you see on the street can be in a few seconds on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, everywhere. So it's a big responsibility on how you manage that information because it can maybe help, but also it can help to destroy people's images. What makes me worry the most about this new digital era with the AI is I think the new generation, talking most of all about girls, I think they will think it twice before raising their voice because they will be worried how they can use these platforms to destroy their image, and these voices that can become a leadership can maybe stay quiet to take care of themselves because of the all the scare that they will be able to have to prevent this kind of situation.
Yeah, it's definitely, we're very concerned about the chilling effect that online violence can have. That in and of itself is a massive threat, not only to the well-being of women and girls all around the world, but to our democracies, to our societies. It's possible that we're about to see the undoing of decades of progress, which we can't let happen. Which, on that similar-ish note, AI is an amplifier. It can both amplify harm, but it can also be used for good. And there are defenders out there who are now using it for good to detect coordinated harassment campaigns, to flag synthetic content, to help survivors navigate the reporting process. Do you see AI as a net positive or a net negative right now? And what would you need to see in order for your calculus on that to shift?
I think right now it's not completely negative, but either is completely positive. Because I think you can control what to see if the information is fake or not, but in the same way you can create a fake information. I think the best question we should ask ourselves is who is creating the rules when we talk about these platforms. I think there are three important things that we should do. First of all is regulating this intelligence, like put clear limits on these platforms. The second one, I think these platforms need more fast reaction. The victims of this kind of media violence didn't feel like when they report the situations and immediately help. They think that okay, I reported, but I'm not able to get any response of what is happening. And the third something for me that is very fundamental is the education and the access. Because when you have a better defense for this change, it's not only about technology. When we have informed women, we have women prepared and with all the skills to be able to navigate in this new era. So it's not just about start talking about if it's bad or good. It's about giving women these tools to navigate, to be able to work and to use it in a positive ways. Because right now AI is an amazing help for start entrepreneurs, works, and also for learning. I think education is the best thing as a person you can have. Like keep learning, keep asking questions, and having all this information this fast helps a lot. So we should just learn how to manage it in a best way.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. So Fundación Ana has reached over 500,000 people, which is incredible. 500,000 women, which is incredible. And one of the things that I love most about your work is how you've woven digital literacy into all aspects of the programming, both in terms of skills, but also in terms of the organization and access to tablets and things like that. Could you share more about how you approach that? Like, what was it that inspired you to do it that way? And then why was it so important to you that safety and digital empowerment go hand in hand?
To be honest, when I started foundation, I was really focused on work on territory. I want to give these women all this capacitation one by one, like of groups, because even if I'm youngest for lady and I'm supposed to be very connected with technology, I felt all the time that in the presential kind of classes you learn more. But one reality of the women of my country is that they're not all of them are able to go and receive those classes in a presential way because they doesn't have the resources to move, or they don't have with who left their kids or their mothers. They have to take care of their family, so they are not able to move. So in a way to reach them and give them these tools, because that's what they ask me when I'm all the time like going around my country, the different cities, and listening, and they always ask for education and employment. So we create a platform that I was worried at the beginning because I was like, I'm not sure if people want to have the classes by a laptop or a phone, but it was a hit. We launched it, and then the first day we got like more than 115 women that get into the courses, and it's easy to them because they are able to manage their time. They can. I have like young mothers that they are feeding their kids, but seeing with the phone the classes, or they are cooking, taking care of their sons, but able to learn and listen the classes by this platform. So think of the platform. We were able to be in all of our country. We have saw a lot of example of women that were able to cut the circle of violence things of the capacitation. I have one clear example of a few weeks ago. I was in Manabi, that is one of our more difficult provinces in my country because of the narco situation we have there, because it's very focused on that zone. And I liked, every time I visit these provinces, I like to see like our information, the girls that have, the women that have graduated, and I like to send them an email and tell her, okay, I will make this event and I will be able to meet you, even if it's just for a second, like make a graduation. And one of their women asked us to talk, and she told us, I have been forced to be closed in a room or four, what is? Walls, four walls, since I married my husband with my kids. I have been victim of physical violence, but I have started my entrepreneur. She has started doing makeup to her friends, and she has been able to get out of her home, and she's like becoming independent. Things used to be like very difficult at the first time, but when I start this foundation, I have a very a phrase that one coworker told me one time, that was like, if you change one life, you're changing the world, and you don't know how many lives you're able to change given sometimes these herramientas, tools, these tools, and how they will use it. So we are very proud of how have been using this platform. Mm-hmm. And I think without technology, that number of women that we were able to reach wouldn't be possible in this just 2 years. And I don't think that technology is something that we have to be behind. We have to be close of it and take advantage of the opportunities that we have. There's really opportunities to the access that come with preparation. Because if we protect, we limitate. But if we give this access with these skills, we expand.
Yeah. You mentioned that the platforms are the ones that are making all the rules, which 100%. They own the official reporting channels. They decide, what the rules are in terms of the terms of service, and they decide how fast or whether harmful content comes down at all. If they were here in the room right now, what would you ask of them in terms of accountability? What do you think we need?
I think those platforms, they're not only about the technology companies, there are spaces that create the public conversation that we're having. As I saw in the beginning, right now the information is going very fast, and we are involved in what and how the information goes, because when we share, when we repost, we are exposing that information, and I think we have that responsibility to be or think it twice when we share what we see. And if they were in this room, my message will be very clear that we need to have more security for the services, for the people that are in that platforms. We need, as I saw in the beginning, we need the help comes more faster. We want to feel secure on the platform. We want to feel that if there's something happening, if there's any kind of harassment going on, we will be able to stop it immediately in hours, not weeks. I think what happened the most to the victim is that they doesn't feel safe when they say what's happening. So sometimes that was in my case. One time I was I can say a victim of this violence in the media, and it was a moment that I felt like my career was going to the border, is going to finish, because if social media is your platform and you're receiving all this hate from the people, how you will be able to keep working or keep going on if the people is only attacking you and makes you think about it. You're like, okay, is this the end? What I'm gonna do next? That's at least what happened to me that time. My platform was my Instagram. If I was feeling like people didn't like me anymore because of the hate I was receiving, I was worried because how I will get my clients, how I will show the things I know, the information, how I will be able to reach them, because paper doesn't work the way it used to be. Now, if you want to find something, you put it on Google, on Safari, or in Twitter for help, and you wait for the recommendations that comes to you. And for me, the most fundamental thing here is that we cannot keep putting all the charge over the victims. The platforms have the capacity and the responsibility to prevent, to act, and to protect.
Yes, 100%. Could not agree more. Thank you. Would love to open it up to questions. I imagine that you all would love the opportunity to ask the First Lady something. So please feel free to raise your hand, if anything. Crystal?
When you interact with other First Ladies, do they ask you for advice on how they should be managing their public presence? And what advice would you give them?
To be honest, they don't ask me for advice because I'm the young. So I think for the people in political specialists, it's like kind of, I don't know, they see me as a child, so it's difficult to them. Even in my country right now, 2 years before, all women are able to call me First Lady, because I was like all the time, you look like my daughter, and is the first impression, at least. But right now, I think more it's not all about that I was an influencer. It's more about the work we have done with the platform and showing that even if I'm young, even if I haven't been doing it via Instagram, via TikTok, just to tell you a little bit of my country, my husband won his campaign thanks to TikTok. He changed the way to do politics. People wasn't used to seeing these TikToks, and he wasn't like a man that was like always in the radios, on the TV, television. He communicates with videos, with trends. And at the beginning, people were like, what he's doing, he's never danced and anything like that, but he was on the trends with the music. And at the beginning, people didn't understand, but because of the platform, he was able to connect to this young community, to this community that didn't want to really know about politics or want to be informed, but he learned how to do it in a more relaxed way. So it's very more, the young community is more involved. And also in my country, it's a very young country. 14% of the people in our country is between 15 and 35-year-old. So they are in the platforms. And just today I was in an event with the First Lady Melania and other 42 First Ladies. And I felt for the first time that they were asking, after 2 years and all the work I've been sharing, like, what have you been doing? And I think is social media, of course, a way to connect, because you connect. The truth is that social media helps you to connect, and people want to trust you, especially in politics. I'm not a political, but my team all the time tell me that I am, even if I'm not. So I think you have a managed very well, because you have a big responsibility, because people in some point trust you, and they see you, as I told you in the beginning, as a way of hope. So I think it has been working. I
You're
hope.
being modest. I have a feeling you had a lot to do with him embracing social media.
Sorry?
I feel like you're being very modest, because I think he probably got better at social media because of your example.
I think we're a team. We're very different. We're very different, but it works. We're the new generation. That's true.
That's
Politics
for sure.
is changing the same as our world is
Yeah.
changing very fast. So we need to adapt to
Absolutely.
this new era.
I saw a hand over here. Yep.
Amazing.
Just can you talk about your initiatives on education and health? What are you doing? Or what's the plan? What do you want to do in the future? You want to partner with anyone, in the US and all that?
On health.
On health and education.
Okay, we have these two fundamental pillars. The most important one, that, as I told you in the beginning, is education and employment. We have been able to reach different alliances with universities, with educators, with different professionals. So we have more than 15 different capacitations that they are able to receive via platform or in territory by a group. It depends on the capacitation, on the topic they choose. And after they finish these courses, this capacitation, because of the alliances we made with the private sector, we are able to employ them. So we help them to employ them in a private company, or we help them to create their entrepreneurs. In Ecuador, we have the highest percent of women entrepreneurs around Latin America, the number one. And it's because I say all the time, something that represents Ecuadorian women, because when they have needs and they need to be able to reach the food for their table for their family, they start selling whatever they know to cook, to coser, to sew, and the things they know they invented. So they find a way to be able to get this food for the table. So we want to help them to develop those skills, and also be able to get money. Also, we as a private foundation, we are making alliances all the time with hospitals, private hospitals. International Foundation, for example, it was a hospital here in the United States that made a campaign of injuries for kids that have scoliosis in Ecuador. They go to their country to make free surgeries. Also, we were making all the time 3 medical brigadas, how you say? Medical missions. And we're all the time like looking the way to work with the private sector, the international organizations to help them. We have also a project in the Galapagos Island that we help women, a group of women, to create products made by recycled materials. For example, they had created sunglasses, toys, jewels, dresses. So we help them, we give them the skills, the education, and we help them to sell these products outside our country. We have been doing a lot. We also had create our Centro Integral Ana. We have 2 right now in our biggest city. We offer free medical attention, psychological, gynecological, juristic, and legal support, and also all these capacitations from Monday to Saturday to these women. So this is like a safe space to them because they make baby steps. They go first for the medical attention or for the capacitation, and they create a community that help each other and support each other. I think that's the most important way. Also, as a foundation, we had create a community comedor comunitario.
Commissary?
Share dining in our 2 biggest cities. So we give free breakfast and also lunch to these people that work on the streets. And we're creating this first pilot project that's going to be ready at the end of the month. That we have different communities in our country that some zones want capacitation, employment, but there are the other ones that they don't want the capacitation or the employment. They want food to eat. So working with these different communities that has been very tough to get in, we come to one specifically that was called Simiatuk in Ecuador. They had a lot of children that doesn't have parents or family. They live by themselves, literally in the middle of nowhere. And we are creating a granja, a farm. So we will give them chickens, cows, all these machines to incubate the eggs, and an area to
Wow, and
create plants
things.
and fruits and everything. So they will work to maintain this farm, but also they not the children's, but the oldest people in the community told us that they will produce these eggs and will give it to the school that is behind them every day to the children as a breakfast, 1 egg, that help us to fight with the desnutrición crónica infantil.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been doing a lot in these 2 years. It has been very tough for us because I'm young, I'm blonde, and people didn't trust me because of the way I look. And it's tough that I get this support at the beginning. But right now, I think our foundation has become something very strong. We have made alliances with Burger King. We create a Krispy Kreme as well. The hamburger Anna, use it everywhere, and we get donations for the hamburger we sold. We have made T-shirts, we have made socks, and it's like I think the women in my country see this as a bandera, as a fight that they made together, and is something amazing. So we have so much things to do yet. I hope in a not very long future I can change the numbers, and I hope one day it's not 7 out of 10 women victim of violence, but it will be 7 out of 10 women that are in a position of success and be able to work.
Absolutely. So keeping an eye on time. Sorry, we actually have to close.
Ah, amazing.
We did one last year. We did 106.
Amazing.
We
Wow.
continue going annually.
Amazing. Thank you for going and helping. Our kids and our people need it.
There are people who are calling for you to run for president. So when your
No.
husband is, when he terms out, yeah. We always like to leave on a note of action. So for the folks in this room, what would be your call to action for them, for the people who are also invested in creating Safety to Thrive for everybody?
I think that people didn't need to subestimate themselves. I know that right now on social media we've seen all this like support and all these words, I don't know, phrases that impulse you to become a better every day. But truly, I think when you work for the things you wanna you wanna create, the dreams, the things you dream, you will be able if you work for it. Is a thing of work, of trust, of course, on yourself, and this doesn't only depends on the government or in the companies. This is something that depends on the communities to educate, to generate support, and visualize the cases when they occur.
Yeah. So basically, you can do it. Is
All we
yeah,
can do it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Don't underestimate yourselves. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very much appreciate your time. So with that, our final call to action as Perth is to join the Perth community. And you can do that by starting an account for free on perth.org. You can get preventative and protective steps right when you log in. It doesn't have to be that you're facing a threat or harm right now. You can proactively keep yourself safe and make it so that you are part of that 7 of 10 who are successful and safe. So together we can make it happen. Thank you again for
Thank
everybody
you. Thank
for
you.
coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
were
for the
great.
space.
Of course.
Very
I'm
happy.
glad that it worked out.